Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so Cancerians, let's go ahead and jump on in. We're going to take a look at like what is kind of murky but become more clear, okay? And we have moonlight reflections. Very nice. To start out with that moonlight reflection, it looks like somebody is understanding their own subconscious a little bit better. Now, this could be someone who's having like some breakthrough moments. Sometimes in bed at night, we lay there and we kind of go over the events of a day, or we, finally sift through what somebody else said to us or the way something occurred. And then we think about how we reacted to it. And then sometimes we realize, oh, something like that bothered me. I didn't like that. Or, you know what? I don't think I want to be around that person anymore. Every time I'm around them, I wind up feeling sad afterwards because they always find a way to like bring me down. Or the converse could be true. You know what? That person was so nice. I don't know when I realized that I feel so comfortable with them, but I'm realizing I always feel better when I talk to them. I think I want to talk more to that person. It could be something along those lines, but we do have the swan. Swans do mate for life. So I'm wondering if there've been some, reflections about romance, about love, about what Cancerian is looking for, about what they would like in life. I like the entire, like, it looks like her dress is like elegantly, being pulled by the tide so gently here. And it just feels like we're like pulling taffy, but we're like pulling ideas out gently and smoothly. If you've ever made taffy, it's kind of like if you turn on classical music, it looks like you're directing something, but really you're just pulling taffy, making candy. And I feel like it's a little of that energy. Hi guys, Rosie, sweetheart. Sweet, so great to see you. Thank you for being here, loves. Okay, so we have a Two of Wands. She's definitely thinking about which direction she'd like to go. um, she holds the world in her hand and she knows that. So whatever I pick, I got to pick wisely. I got to pick where I put my energy. We got this one life, so let's always gravitate toward the stuff we like, the stuff we want. I think this is a person who's about to realize that I don't really want to say yes to people that I mean no to. I don't really want to work extra hours if I don't actually have to all the time. I don't think I want to. This almost feels like Cancerian is reflecting on what makes a good life, and they're realizing I get to pick what my good life is made up of. So why don't I, if I hold the world in my hands, my world in my hands, why don't I choose things that genuinely bring up the nicest emotions in me? I'm wondering if, even if this thought process begins at night, I feel like Cancerian might be making a little checklist in their mind. What were the best things about my day? Or what are the best things about this year so far? Or what are the best things that I can count up on my hands of what my life has been made up of? I can say right out of the gate, if somebody asked me that, I would say, I have never in my life regretted a single penny that I've spent on travel. Everything's been worth it. Everything's been worth it. That's been such an important thing for me in my life for a billion different reasons, but that's been the best money I've ever spent was on travel, because I needed those experiences. So I know that about me. So, if you only have so much money to spend, do I spend it on, beautification processes? No, I do not. I don't spend any money on nails or hair or anything like that. I'd rather hoard it and save it and see how far will that money get me to take a trip someplace else. Like there's just different stuff, right? If I got to pick, it's always going to be travel. If I'm going to pick a food item, it's probably, going to be something that I really enjoy. That is also going to be like, something that fills your tummy and makes you feel good. Not just fun, delicious food, but, yummy and something that keeps you going. When we think what makes our life good, what makes our life balanced, I feel like that's the checklist that Cancerian is going through, which is a better way maybe to ask ourselves what's working and what's not. What things make my body feel healthy? What things are, make my life feel happy? What things make my energy feel good? What people do I really enjoy being around? This is me making my choices then. We do have a clipboard, so maybe Cancer is really going to write it all down, but I think they might do this at nighttime, and then by morning they look at it and they go, hey, I just mapped out like what makes a balanced life for me, what makes me truly peaceful, what do I really enjoy. Well, it's nice to have a roadmap sometimes. It's nice to do those reflections. I love the fact that this is not the kind of negative reflection that keeps somebody up all night chewing on their fingernails and being stressed out. Instead, it's look at this. No, Cancerian's all about, how can I create the greatest good in my life? How can I move forward the best in my life? How can I make sure that everything I do counts toward, you know, big happiness? If our goal in life is to get to those tens, right? Lay down burdens, get over hurts and pains. That's like our 10 of wands and our 10 of swords. And then achieve great happiness and stability. That's our 10 of cups, and that's our 10 of pentacles. Cancer's already at an 8 of pentacles. Cancer's quite stable already, but it's great that they're reflecting and saying, so how do I continue on like my progress in life headed toward my 10 of pentacles? I think this maybe has begun with a reflection on work related things, just because 8 of pentacles can be, what do I do for money? What do I do for work? What's my relationship with abundance and money? And the 2 of wands, somebody sitting in an office, sitting up on the filing cabinet in like an office building. So I think what kickstarts this thought process in the dead of night, perhaps, is Cancerian asking themselves, do I like the job I'm doing? What parts do I like about it? What's my relationship to money? Am I setting aside enough for this or for that? Is this, and I kind of think that they're saying, oh, there's a lot of really good things that I've already created. I have a lot to celebrate. I have a lot of things I'm happy with, happy about. With this Knight of Swords, it's funny because all this has been, a thought process, and now we're getting to leaping into action, which is great. This is not a Cancerian that just randomly changes stuff in their life. This is somebody who mindfully reflects, kind of asks themselves some very brilliant questions. They're very cogent. This is a character who really knows how to ask the best questions of themselves to make sure that then they can get themselves that roadmap and have simmered it down to those raw truths of, which path am I on? Am I making good choices? How could I make better choices? Okay, now I know what to do. Now I take action. It's pretty brilliant. This is not a Cancerian who's going to waste time, energy, money. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I'm like, if you see my eyes darting back and forth, it's because I'm frantically double checking that the video is not freezing again like it did in that other video. As long as I see the chat move, I know we're still here. But we got the 9 of Cups, and we've got that Page of Wands. I do see Cancerian making not a subtraction out of their life, an addition into their life. They are going to make a change, but they're going to add something else in. The Page of Wands is this new little spark. So after doing this little life review and getting a chance to put their thoughts in order, and now being able to make a direct action the following day. I feel like this is coming pretty soon. I feel like Cancerian's kind of all fired up and all excited about something. This could be a hobby that they have been passionate about, and they're like, what else would make my life terrific? If in between, the work that I do and spending time with the people that I care about, maybe cutting out. Look, if we're doing a review, we know we're going to cut some things out of our life. Not everything's going to be sunshine and roses, especially if we make a really important list about what makes my life good. What things could I do less of? What things drain me instead of add value to my life? What people drain me instead of add value to my life? That means Cancerian is probably going to be making some decisions about, this I don't keep, this I do keep. This person I don't think I'll be spending time with anymore. This person I will. But every time we move something off of our plate, We get a new chunk of time in our personal schedule, and now we can fill it with something else that would really make life even better. And I think right now it's like, I need some time for my hobby. I need some time to pet my cat. I need some time to, go out and do photography. I need to make time for a nap in the evening to listen to music. I need to schedule those joys into my life, because that would, you know, totally increase my happiness quota by like 110%. These are little, both of these are little positive changes that I think Cancerians ready to integrate into their life. I definitely think Cancerian is very pro nap. I think that they are so all about like kicking back, making sure they have time to unwind, whether this is in the morning or when they first come home from work, like setting up a routine that works. Like some people come home from work and they don't want to talk to anybody at first. They just want to take off their shoes and socks, maybe strip down to their undies and just plop down on the couch and veg. Other people are like, oh, as soon as I get off work, I go hop in the pool, I go hop in the shower. Other people are like, oh, that's when I go to the gym, I get all energized. Everybody's different. So it's kind of like whatever the routine is that would make life happier for Cancerian, I think they're going to integrate that in. This is really awesome. This is very much just a personal flow. Do we have anything about love in here? I just thought we should check. Do we have anything about love? 7 of Wands. We see that no justice is scrawled on that wall. I don't think fighting is something that Cancerian wants to deal with. I think anybody in love that makes, I'm hearing Pat Benatar, love is a battlefield. And I don't think Cancerian wants love to be a battlefield. I think for Cancerian, it's like love should be a safe haven. It shouldn't be my adversary. We should be, partners, not enemies. So I think Cancerian is going to stop even dating somebody if they think about it and they go, conflict, constant biting at each other, never being on the same page, that's not going to make me happy. So I'd like to go ahead and if how we overcome conflict and struggle is to fight all the time, that doesn't sound like resolution. That sounds like a negative pattern. So, I mean, 7 of Wands is how we overcome struggles. But if it's immediately super defensive and argumentative, I could see Cancerian saying, and that's what I'm going to push out of my life. This could be the time that Cancerian decides to break it off with, a previous partner or something because there's too much conflict. Again, it's great to do a review sometimes and ask what's working and what's not. This could be that maybe Cancerian just realizes, wow, as I reflect, somebody that I date and myself, we don't handle conflict well. We don't find resolution without arguments. Okay, maybe we could work on that, because this could be, we need to fine tune this. I can see it now that I'm addressing it, now that I'm thinking about it. Immediately there's defensiveness. So how do we bring down defenses? Maybe first to like reinforce like support and then start to talk about a problem, or make sure that, a partner doesn't feel like I'm attacking them, like, no, I'm not blaming you. I wanted to be able to tell you about things that I'm going through, but it's not dumping it on you, or, it's just dialogue and, let's brainstorm. It's you and me against the problem. It's not you and me against each other because there's a problem. That change could go a long way to fixing this. If it can't be fixed, then I don't think Cancerian's sticking around though. So very nice energy on this. This has been a fun series so far. I think like 7 of the zodiacs on the other channel today. Tomorrow, I don't know that I'll get to any zodiacs just because I will be having a chance to do some other things tomorrow, a little bit of fun, a little bit of work, a little bit of, it's going to be a blocked off day with a bunch of things going on. But it's always nice if I get a couple hours to spend with my mama. So I'm looking forward to that. But that will take priority. So I don't know if I'll be back in time tomorrow night or not. But anyway, guys, so great to see you. Rosie, you angel, thank you. Sweet. I love all the music. So awesome. Oh, I love the cars. Who's going to drive you home is probably one of my faves. Thanks again, you guys. SLH, great to see you. Pauline Bennett, shout out to you in the UK, my love. Cherry Coleman, thanks for being here. And Sandy, it's always a delight. Thanks for staying up late with me. Thank you so much, Rosie. Kim Pruitt, wonderful to see you. Sandy, you're such a doll. That was pretty funny. I've never had the whole chat. I've never had a video stop that I didn't know had stopped. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you watch the specific message that I did, you'll notice that there's part 1 and part 2, and that is because it stopped at 26 minutes, but Kate didn't. Kate went on to 42 minutes. So, and I had no idea it had stopped. And I was even saying hi to people in the chat, but nobody was there but me. So it was pretty goofy. All right, you guys, lots of love. Thanks for being here. Bye for right now.